Hello and blessings to you all. I am Lucette and this is the Wiccan Life Podcast. Hello and welcome back. I hope you all had a great Yule and Christmas break. For this last episode of this year, that is 2020, I want to offer some basic advice on meditation and a few other thoughts. Do not worry, you will still get a meditation at the end. I launched this podcast in late May of this year, 2020, something that I had been planning to do since March. I had to get the equipment, I had to learn how to use the software, but most importantly, I had to get over my own personal hurdles and my inhibitions, and it was certainly a struggle, but with the support of my partner and my family, I managed to provide you with meditations since May. No doubt you have noticed I don't say much about myself. One day I will readdress that. But then to be fair, there is a small introduction about me on my website. Feel free to read it. However, what is important to me is that my meditations are working for you. I take you on journeys that help you focus the mind. I do use a pagan or Wiccan style to my meditations, since this is my path. I do try and vary the length as much as I can, sometimes too short, sometimes quite long, to try and get you accustomed at different lengths of meditations. I suppose what I would like to address is the names I use for meditations. I use meditation, guided meditation, and path working interchangeably. For some people, these words will mean different things. In my mind, for me, the meditations I do guide you through a journey, a path that you work through. So that's why I use all the terms the same way. As for why is meditation important? When you first encounter paganism, you search online, like I did, and you want to do spells and you want to learn, and you realize there's so much information out there, good and bad. And most books and teachers of the craft will tell you to meditate. But you push it aside because spells! I want to do spells, and how cool is that? Let me assure you that meditating will help your spell making. It will help your ritual experience, whether solitary or in a group, and it will help you obtain that focus and concentration that you need in order to perform a ritual or spell. There are many other things that you also need to learn, but these other things you can read or you'll be taught by someone with experience. However, meditation is something that only you can do for yourself. It takes practice. But how often do you need to practice? Some people will tell you that you need to meditate every day. And I do agree. However, I do have a motto in life. 2 or 3 times a week. That is my motto. Like many of you, I work full-time. I have a house to keep. My children are grown up, but some of you will still have children at home. And if you're not working, you're probably studying at college or university, and you need to pass those exams. I also have a coven, and I have a training group to prepare lessons for. I do read a lot. I also practice yoga, and I like cooking. Hence, why this podcast only releases an episode every 2 weeks. I'm a busy lady. But seriously, 2 or 3 times a week is a good standard to start with. Don't feel guilty. 2 or 3 times is good. Just like 2 or 3 times a week to read a book, 2 or 3 times a week to cook a healthy meal, 2 or 3 times a week to exercise well. Hence why that is my motto. In my case, I do meditate 5 or 6 times a week, but I have been doing this for a long time. Like with many hobbies and skills, the more you do, the better you get at it. So please, practice. Another issue I would like to talk about is I've had people that have messaged me concerned that they don't see a symbol or they wonder whether they're doing it wrong, they can't follow the meditation. And absolutely nothing wrong with not being able to see everything. Even more practiced Wiccans have to do meditations several times to get the full experience. It can just be that you are so busy that your mind refuses to play fair, or you may be tired. So the thing to do is to do the meditation again another time. There is nothing wrong with that. So what can we expect for 2021? From this podcast at least. I certainly have plans to finish the full set of Sabbaths and then move on to more generic meditations. And once I have built more on this library of meditations, I would like to start working on a full set of the major arcana of the tarot. As of how many I'm going to release this year, that's yet to be decided, as I only release every 2 weeks. And the major arcana can provide you with a full year worth of meditations. That is something that I'm still thinking about. If you have any thoughts or you have any requests, you could always message me at talktome@wiccanlife.co.uk. So let's talk about the meditation for this episode. We will be doing a lunar breathing meditation. This has become quite popular in the pagan scene, and it helps you count your breaths. I have already done some basic meditations on episodes 5 and 6. What they all have in common is the counting of breaths, focusing on your breath. There are so many ways you can count your breaths while meditating. I just offer you some choices. And for the start of this year, 2021, I want to offer you a Lunar Breath Meditation, where we'll go through every phase of the moon in one breath. How? Well, we shall be breathing slowly. I just want to make sure that you know what the phases of the moons are. The waning moon is when it becomes smaller, and the waxing moon is when it gets bigger. I will take you from full moon to last quarter, or half a moon. Then it keeps waning further to the dark, and then it will wax to the first quarter, or half a moon, and it will keep waxing to a full moon. So for every breath that you take, you will be going through the whole cycle. So now that we understand what the terminology means, we can do a lunar breath meditation. So without further ado, let's get meditating. Get yourself comfortable, preferably in a sitting position, and close your eyes. Start breathing slowly and be aware of your breathing. Breath goes in and then it goes out. As you start to relax, remember that you can end the meditation at any moment by opening your eyes, and you will immediately be back to reality. Take a deep breath in, and then let the breath go. Do this one more time. Take a deep breath in, and then let it go. Slow down your breathing, making sure when you breathe out, you remove from your body all the stresses of the day. Slow down your breathing, making sure when you breathe out, you remove from your mind all the stresses of the day. Slow down your breathing, making sure when you breathe out, you watch all your worries disappear. Continue to breathe slowly. You feel your body relaxing. You feel your muscles softening. from your feet up to your ankles, and then your calves and your thighs. You relax your muscles. Then to your pelvis, up your torso, through your chest, and down your arms. You relax your muscles. And finally, up your neck, around your face, you feel your muscles relaxing. You feel very calm. You know you are very relaxed. As you sit there in contemplation, a wide, calm mist appears all around you. This mist grows around you, and it keeps growing around you. It is a calm mist. It is a very safe mist. The mist keeps growing and getting thicker, like thick fog. It surrounds you, and all you can see is this very thick fog. Then this fog transports you to a deeper and calm part of yourself. The fog then starts to disappear, and as it becomes thinner, you find yourself sitting on the ground under the shadow of a majestic oak tree. It is nighttime, and the full moon sits above you. This oak tree stands tall on a hill, and you spend some time looking at the landscape in front of you. The moon provides plenty of light for you to see. On the left-hand side, in the distance, you can see the sea. In front of you, the dense forest is quiet. You see it has lakes and rivers dotted around. And towards the right-hand side, you can see the mountains in the distance. Take a moment to witness your landscape. Take a moment to feel the cold breeze of this night on your skin. Take a moment to hear the rustle of the leaves and branches as they are moved by the wind. Take a moment to hear the night owl hooting through the forest. The full moon above shines brighter than usual. It is also larger than usual. You can feel the gaze of the moon upon you. Take one deep breath and watch how the moon moves towards the mountains to your right and starts waning. You see how it wanes down to a last quarter moon. Take another deep breath and see how the moon wanes and moves behind the mountains, disappearing completely. The forest is dark. Take a deep breath and you feel a light coming up from your right-hand side. The moon is waxing and coming up from behind the sea. It waxes to a first quarter moon. Take another deep breath, and now you witness how the moon waxes to a full moon and moves to be right above you. You have witnessed one full cycle of the moon. Now with your breath, you shall do the same, slightly faster, with the moon always moving clockwise behind the mountains and popping up from the sea on your left. We shall be doing this by taking a deep breath, holding our breath, releasing slowly and holding again. Let's start. Take a deep breath and watch how the moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and see how the moon wanes behind the mountains. Release your breath and you witness the moon coming up and waxing to a first quarter. Hold your breath and feel the moon waxing to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And we continue. Take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And again, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And for the last time, take a deep breath and the full moon wanes to a last quarter. Hold your breath and the moon wanes further beyond the mountains. Release your breath and the moon appears and forms the first quarter. Hold your breath and the moon waxes to a full moon above you. And breathe normally. 9 times you have harnessed this cycle. 9 times your breath has cycled. 9 times you have felt the moon move with your breath. Remember, as we begin a new year, a new cycle in our lives, in moments when we need it, come back to this lunar breath. It shall give you peace, calmness, and perspective. Now it is time to go back. So touch the trunk of your oak tree and say thank you. I am ready to go back. And now that it's time to go back, I want you to count from 10 to 1 backwards. 10. The calm mist starts appearing around you again and growing and growing. 9. And that calm mist then turns into a very thick fog again. A fog that completely surrounds you. 8. And then the fog slowly takes you back to where you started this journey. 7. Then the fog starts to dissipate again. 6. And as it turns to a light mist again, you start seeing where you are. 5. You become aware of this space around you. 4. You become aware of your body. 3. You can start moving parts of your body now. 2. Have a good stretch. And 1. Open your eyes. And that was the Lunar Breath Meditation. It is quite popular, and some people, even in between phases, they count to 4 while they're imagining the moon cycling and changing, waxing and waning. It is a good exercise to help the concentration. You can set a timer and do it for as long or for as short as you need to. Or you can just do this meditation again and again and again when you need to. It will help you with the concentration. As we start this new year, I wish you all a very, very happy new year. Hope is coming. New things will be coming for this year. Even though last year was quite testing for all of us, we can live in hope, knowing that things will get better. If you have any questions or want to chat about your experience of the meditations or your journey through your pagan path, feel free to join the Weekend Life community group on Facebook. You will also find me on Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Or you can always email me at talktome@weekendlife.co.uk. Until next time, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.